What's going on, everyone? Today, we've got our first of hopefully multiple REVAN decks. We're going a little bit different, maybe a little bit more traditional, actually, with REVAN, instead of leaning into the Force synergies today, and I'm excited for it. I've got a lot of decks to try to mess around with, so stay tuned, but we want to try out some Tarkentown REVAN to start us off. Big thank you to my patrons over on Patreon, guys. Also, I have a TCG player link in the description down below. You all have been loving the set 5 deck, so I figured I'd continue doing it. And today, we've got a hyper aggro list with Darth REVAN. So, for those of you that don't know, Darth REVAN, anytime a friendly unit attacks and defeats a unit, you may exhaust this leader. If you do, you give an experience token to a friendly unit. So the idea there is you want high toughness, but also high powered units, if you can. Now, we do have a lot of those, right? Or a good portion of them. But then we also just have a hyper aggressive strategy in Benthic 2 Tubes, Death Star Stormtrooper, First Order Stormtrooper, and Guavian Antagonizer. The idea here is we just really rush them down, hopefully take control of the early game, and then when REVAN comes down with upgrades, they're under too much of pressure to actually properly deal with Darth REVAN. Now, alongside this, it's one of the reasons why we're running Tarkentown and not using that Force synergy, which we will be trying very, very soon for some videos. But we also have things like Ruthlessness, which is actually amazing in Darth REVAN. You play this for 1, you get +2/+0. You get to attack a unit, get an experience token on that unit because you probably got to kill it now with the extra power, and then you get to deal 2 damage to an opponent's base. This works especially well on units like HK-47 or Marin or Fifth Brother. We have Darth REVAN's lightsabers, which is amazing, +2/+2 and get grit for our Darth REVAN. We got Fallen Lightsaber to pump up those Force units, and we got a bunch of kind of just in general solid units that we're used to. In terms of new sets, we do have that HK-47. Marin's actually pretty fantastic because it's 2/5, and when you attack, you discard a card from your hand. You can deal 2 damage to a unit. Now, this happens before the combat actually happens, so you can finish off a lot of units like this. Darth Tyrannus is a 4/3 shielded for our deck. It doesn't have the ambush, but 4/3 shielded Sith unit is good enough. And then Darth Malak, 4/7 immediately ready up unit with REVAN, which is really, really nice, as well as having Overwhelm. So we're going to see what we can do with Darth REVAN here. I know a lot of people were playing with the Force synergies, and I played a lot with that, and there is some good things, but I wanted to try a little bit of a different flavor that is more traditional, but with the new cards. Let's dive into it. All right, we got ourselves a matchup up against the Kanan, which I think is going to be pretty fun. We'll keep this hand. Kylo Silencer and I guess the Interceptor going to be into the resource pile. Let's go ahead and drop this Bo-Katan. Actually, let's just go Death Star Stormtrooper and hope our opponent doesn't have a Sabine. Awesome, we get double Death Star Stormtroopers here on turn 1. That's going to be pretty fantastic. We've got Darth Malak and Bo-Katan here. I think I'm going to resource the Fallen Lightsaber and go double play here on turn 2. I think it's going to be a little bit more valuable. Let's go ahead and get an attack in for 3. Get another attack in for 3. They're going to start healing. We're going to go play. We have a big board here. I think we resource the Malak here. We're going to Ruthlessness and Strike Ship. Strike Ship looks pretty bad in the face of what they've got going on over there. If they get an aggression unit on the board, the game suddenly becomes really difficult because they can start knocking out these Stormtroopers. Even so, they restore 3 right now, which is pretty obnoxious. So let's go ahead and just attack in for 3. They're going to attack in, heal up some health. We're going to attack in for another 3. Ooh, that actually ends up being pretty good here because we're going to go Strike Ship here. And then we are going to drop in Ruthlessness, attack, kill Kanan, deal. We can exhaust the leader, but it doesn't do anything. Attack in for 2 and then pass. We've got Force Throw and another Strike Ship, so pretty weak kind of finishing of the curve. I could have left Ruthlessness on another unit and let Tarkentown finish off the job, which is pretty reasonable. But I decided to go this direction instead. Let's go Darth REVAN deploy here. And we have Force Throw, which, well, can potentially be pretty good. Help us finish off this turn's play. So let's attack here with Death Star Stormtrooper. Ooh, let's attack in for 3 with another Death Star Stormtrooper. Oh, that ends up being pretty good for us because we're going to go Force Throw our opponent, and then we're going to be able to finish off that Fear Knock. That is pretty obnoxious. Fell the Dragon. Yep, we will just knock out that Fear Knock right now. Get in for 2, get in for 3, pass. We've got HK-47 and Benthic 2 Tubes. Another couple deploys. Pretty cheap situation we got going on here, but I do like it. I do think it's pretty good. Darth Revan's lightsabers, Fallen lightsabers, those type of stuff would have been fantastic to see, but we didn't quite get there, which is okay. Let's just get an attack in with the Death Star Stormtrooper. They're going to attack the Guavian Antagonizer. We're going to attack in for 3 again. And then we're going to hope that we can finish off the game. They're going to heal. We're going to attack in for 3. We're going to play an HK. Okay, they played Kanan, which means we're going to claim now because we have a 3 powered. I was worried that they were going to play something else. That was going to be pretty big. But, I mean, nope, they didn't do anything. And we got there. Just hyper aggro. Now, our opponent didn't have anything to interact with on the ground, which ended up being pretty bad for them. Because I think if they did, they could have had another option. Strike Ship, completely worthless in this game. We didn't even use Tarkin Town. I think I should have gone Ruthlessness on other units and then used Tarkin Town plus the attack from Bo-Katan to finish off Kanan. But I was thinking they were going to play something else in the ground that we were going to finish off with Tarkin Town. And we would have, had they not discarded the Fell of the Dragon on a Toon Fear Knock. We could have used Tarkin Town on that to finish it off. But pretty good game nonetheless. Into our next game, I'm up against Qui-Gon Green. And we're going to mulligan this one. I think Strike Ship can be potentially pretty good, but I don't think I want Strike Ship up against Qui-Gon Jinn. The Ahsoka and picking apart our hand could be pretty devastating. I don't know if I want to deploy a bunch of small units early on. And look at that. Our entire hand on this turn is actually just a bunch of cheap plays. Let's go with Bo-Katan here because it can be a 3-3 next turn with a First Order Stormtrooper deployed. And that could be potentially pretty good. We could go like HK plus First Order Stormtrooper. As I was saying, I don't know if I really want to have a bunch of small units and get rid of my hand because Qui-Gon has a good chance of playing things like Ahsoka, Kira, things like that to disrupt my hand because Ahsoka's an amazing card up against my deck and an amazing card in general for Qui-Gon if I'm going to be really utilizing a lot of my hand. Looks like my opponent doesn't really have anything. Okay, we've got Marin, which is pretty good. I think I'm going to resource this Silencer. I like the lightsabers. I like the lightsabers a lot, actually. Okay, they've got Obi-Wan Kenobi. Let's go ahead and just... Ooh, what do I want to do here, actually? I think I want to play Marin. And then we'll attack in... Actually, we'll not attack him. We'll just pass. Okay, another Bo-Katan. I think I prefer that over the Death Star Stormtrooper because I think Bo-Katan's going to actually die here. You're my only hope. Wow, that's lucky. Huh. Okay. My opponent just got pretty lucky there with that. They just blindly hit me. You're my only hope. They just claimed initiative here. Let's go ahead and attack into the Obi-Wan. We'll use Tarkin Town here. Attack. We'll discard a card. Hit the Ahsoka for 2. Pass. Let's resource the Strike Ship. We got Fifth Brother. You're my only hope blindly is kind of nuts. It's kind of nuts there, to be honest. Youngling Padawan in the board. Let's go ahead and... Ooh, I think what we'll do is... attack. Wait. Oh, that's not what I intended to do. Okay, it's okay. We'll do it anyways. I was thinking like I could attack Ahsoka, but then my instinct was to hit the base. I was gonna give an experience token to Ahsoka, or get an experience token from Ahsoka by attacking it with Marin. But my opponent went with You're My Only Hope, which does basically nothing. But that's okay. My opponent's got the You're My Only Hope and the You're Only... okay. Or now there are 2. Honestly, I made a misplay and my opponent was doing crazy things. It confused my brain. It did. I guess we won. My opponent played You're now there are 2 of them and got nothing. I mean, you can do that. I guess it would have been worse off for us to attack their Ahsoka, because they could have played down there are 2 of them, maybe got a Plo Koon down on the board or something. I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. I have 0 idea what was happening this game, but we got there. So I guess I'll take it. All right, into the next game. We've got ourselves a pretty interesting hand, actually. I like this hand a lot. We've got HK into Marin, which is a force unit for the Fallen Lightsaber purposes, as well as force throw. So I'm going to go ahead and plan on the HK Marin Force throw plus fallen lightsaber turn up against Darth Maul, which I've been pretty unimpressed with, to be honest, guys. We'll see what my opponent's doing. We got double red Maul over there, which I think is pretty sweet. Absolutely love seeing that. But we'll see if we're able to get down this Marin and actually set up. 5 toughness is kind of tough to deal with on turn 2. So I think she'll live, and then we can set up that force throw fallen lightsaber kind of combination on turn 3. Let's just go HK here on turn 1, though. They've got an HK of their own. And, well, do I even care about that? I guess we'll find out. I guess we will find out. I don't think I do. Yeah, I think I'm just going to attack their base. Marin can potentially finish off a lot of units with the fallen lightsaber attached to her. So I think I'm just going to attack the base. Let's see what they decide to do. Marin coming down this turn is going to be pretty nice. If they have like a lightsaber, I suppose that could be a little scary because they can put it on the HK and then kill my Marin, which I don't want to have happen. They got 5th brother. Okay, let's go ahead and claim initiative here. We've got ourselves our own 5th brother. Do I want to risk the aggression coming down this turn? I could risk the aggression. I don't want to risk the force throw though. So I think what I'll do is attack in to the 5th brother, discard the Darth Revan's lightsabers to deal 2. We'll deal 1, trigger, get an experience token, make it a 3/4. So we can get rid of the 5th brother so the force throw can't come down this turn. Then we still have the potential to deploy fallen lightsaber or 5th brother. I think I'm going to lean towards 5th brother, but we'll see. That's what I was worried about, the aggression. Aggression would have been disgusting here if we had gone with the fallen lightsaber. So I'm very, very happy I did not go with that game plan. It would have been absolutely brutal. So our opponent's just going to kill off Marin. Fair enough. We're going to go force throw. Yeah, I think we're just going to attack base. I don't think we care about their HK. Let's go ahead and go 5th brother here. We're going to go force throw at my opponent. Let's see what they have in hand. Force throw. Do we hit a 4-drop? That would be awesome. Okay, they discard another HK. We're going to target town that away. Let's pass. Okay, pretty good cards. We got the silencer and the fallen lightsaber. Gives us a couple options this turn. We get to deploy Revan, put his lightsaber on him, and he's going to be a 6/9, which is going to be nice to potentially generate some experience tokens. Although we're kind of just going aggressive here. Marin is a really nice card. I was really excited about it. But again, based on the double red Maul, I was really worried about the aggression. And I'm very happy I decided to go with the other route. But I can't really play around what people are playing right now too much because you never really know, to be honest. You don't really know. Okay, this is going to be kind of nasty because Revan is a force unit, which means we can knock out their Darth Malak here on this turn and get an experience token for Revan. So really, really like that. Our opponent's got nothing else to do. So they just claim initiative and, well, that's it. This is why. Opponent doesn't necessarily know. So opponent has to have a leader unit on the board. When Maul is not deployed, you're not going to get a readied up Malak. So opponent, we're going to wait for him to take initiative, and then we're going to go fallen lightsaber on Revan. We're going to be able to attack Darth Malak, deal 1, give an experience token to Revan. We're going to be able to play silencer, attack, pass, attack, and then pass again. A couple different cards here. I don't see a reason to resource, to be honest. Our deck is very, very cheap. So we're really looking for upgrades at this point. And I mean, our Revan is massive. Like, they deploy Maul, we kill it. It's currently a 7/6. Like, that's tough to deal with. That's tough to deal with. Okay, they got a silencer. Sure. Let's just go ahead and attack him with HK to start off. Fifth Brother is pretty good at taking out units, so we'll see what they've got. I don't mind trading off silencers here. Okay, let's just go ahead and attack into Maul here. And we will give an experience token to Revan yet again, so we just knock out Maul. I know we can attack their base, and that's probably pretty good, but I think this is actually a little bit more valuable. Because again, if they get an what's it called? Aggression, it'd be pretty bad for us. Opponent's like, where's a force token? But they haven't attacked with any force units yet. Oh boy, guys, this is the set 5 early growing pains here. We've all done it. If you played the new set, then yeah, opponent just leaves. I mean, we did pretty good there, right? Revan getting pumped up, it became very scary for my opponent. Not bad. Next matchup, we've got a match up against our Obi-Wan Kenobi player. We're gonna mulligan this one. Not a fantastic hand. This one's also not that great of a hand either. I'm going to take a gamble over here on this strike ship this game. I do not think this hand is very good at all. We could have potentially kept Arm to the Teeth, which, you know, can definitely get some value going. But, I mean, I really wanted a little bit of a different hand here. Oh, they got no turn 1 play. Well, that's actually pretty good for us. Let's resource one of these Maliks here. Don't need 2 of them. The strike ship is... It's okay. You know, attacks for 3, which is not bad. But it has no combat power, so if our opponent does play a space unit, it'll be pretty bad. Oh boy, yeah, it's like GG at this point. It's like GG at this point. Strike ship, there's not even a reason to play it. Wow, that is absolutely brutal. Our opponent just had the blue leader, which is an amazing card up against us. Yeah. I wonder if they even had a turn 1 play and they just took initiative because they were like, yeah, this blue leader is going to be so good. Which would have been completely reasonable, to be honest. We'll see what my opponent decides to do here. They're going to go Soresu Stance, huh? Wow, okay. Soresu Stance going to start generating some force tokens for them. Let's just go ahead and play a Darth Tyrannus. We got no force for it, so no ambush here. No Darth Tyrannus. Let's go ahead and resource one of these silencers. Silencer is just night and day difference up against that strike ship. This is the problem with strike ship that I was fearful of. I decided to play it just to test around with it, but I have been testing around with it over the past couple of days, and it's felt like this. Someone plays a blue leader, and you're like, oh no, this is like the worst thing I've ever experienced in my entire life. It's just horrible. They're gonna play an Obi-Wan. Nice. The game is like over, I think. Let's go ahead and attack into the Obi-Wan. They get to go ahead and to get some value going. We're going to Tarkin Town away the Obi-Wan here. My opponent can deploy Obi-Wan leader version. We can knock it out, which is going to be pretty nice. This is a 3/6 now, which is going to be pretty obnoxious as well. But we'll see what my opponent decides to do here. Let's attack for 3 into the base. Jedi Consular. This is a card that I think is really, really quite strong. They're going to attack Tarkin Town. Okay, we're going to deploy Revan. And then I think what we want to do is deploy Malik. We're going to attack Obi-Wan, get the experience token, and then pass. We've got, okay, bunch of different units to potentially play here. I like the Darth Tyrannus plus the double First Order Stormtrooper. Remember, my opponent can play an 8-drop this turn. So Jedi Consular are really doing some scary stuff. They can play like Caloran Beck. They can play anything, really. Any unit that's going to cost a ton. Home 1 here and grab themselves. I guess Home 1 would be pretty mediocre since there's nothing in the discard pile. But yeah, tons of options. Just tons of them. A little bit worrisome, to be honest. See what my opponent's got. Let's see it. Force is with me, huh? Knockout. What do they knock out? Oh, they knocked out Revan. Okay, fair enough. That is a big ol' Jedi Consular. Let's go ahead and attack in for 4. Let's go ahead and attack in for 3. Attack in for another 4. Let's play First Order Stormtrooper. First Order Stormtrooper, Force Throw. I guess ourselves knock out their Restored Arc, since that's going to heal them, and we'll pass. Ooh, Benthic 2 tubes and Darth Revan's lightsabers. Lightsabers look amazing on Darth Malak here. That's going to give him +5, +2, which would be pretty disgusting. But we'll see if he even lives. There's an Obi-Wan. They have Soresu Strike. Okay, let's go Darth Revan's lightsabers on the Obi-Wan Kenobi. And then we'll see what my opponent's got. The Soresu stance, pretty okay. Oh, they're attacking base? Ooh, I'm a little bit surprised about that. So they just take the 1 damage to their Jedi Consular almost assuredly here. Jedi Consular going to take a couple points of damage here. Then we're going to attack in with Malak here. Let's get an experience token on Malak. And then they get to give 2 experience to something. They have to take initiative because Malak is a freaking 15-2 right now and is insane. Absolutely massive. Doesn't matter, though. We get to finish off the game with Darth Tyrannus attack and then a Death Star Stormtrooper attack. They got 0 resources. It is GG. The Jedi Consular was a little bit scary, though. That was a little bit scary. Obi-Wan on the following turn was pretty nasty. That was pretty nasty. Also, Blue Leader knocking out our strike ship. That felt real sad. All right. And into the next game, we got ourselves a match up against Han Solo. This seems like a reasonable hand. Yeah, maybe I could do a little bit better, actually. Ugh. These strike ships, they're giving me some not good vibes. Guavian Antagonizer I really like in this matchup because, oh, they're gonna go the Dilapidated Ski Speeder here, huh? We're just gonna knock that out in case there's any bigs to show up here. Just knock that one out. We'll pass. We've got a couple different potential plays here. I'm going to resource this Force Throw. What was I saying before? Oh, strike ship, guys. Ugh, it's 0-3s just make me uncomfortable. You know, they just make me uncomfortable. I don't like that. I don't like the fact that they're 0-3. That is an Ogdo Bogdo. That is awesome. Ogdo Bogdo. Okay, let's attack in for 2. Ogdo Bogdo, which means, can we attack with this First Order Stormtrooper? I don't even think we can. I don't think we should. Because if we do, then they're suddenly able to go ahead and, attack with the Ogdo Bogdo. They're passing. We're going to play Benthic 2 tubes. Okay, we're going to claim initiative. There's no reason to attack if that's the way they're going to play it. I think I just resource this lightsaber. Okay. First Order Stormtrooper, not something that we can really attack with. It kind of negates these 2. Let's go with Benthic 2 tubes attack and give the Raid 2 to strike ship over here. Ogdo Bogdo. Man, I love this. I love this card. Han 2 is a deck that I really want to play. I really am excited about playing this deck. I think it's going to be a ton of fun. An absolute ton of fun. And that's an Ogdo Bogdo. They're not using... I'm so confused. They're not using Han's action, so they can't attack with it. And then they're playing a unique unit when they already have a unique unit on the board. Okay. That's what I wanted to see in my games. Okay. All right. We're back and up against the same player. We sat in queue for a good 3 minutes, and my opponent kept queuing up, seeing me leaving, queuing up, seeing me leaving on repeat. But we finally got there. So hopefully we're going to have a pretty good match. Definitely not a great place to leave off on for my opponent, but mistakes happen. It's all good. I've done some dumb things in the past before, and I've done some dumb things probably on this video already. So definitely a possibility there. They got Daring Raid here. Totally fine. Not really that worried about Daring Raid here on turn 1. I think that's a pretty weak play in general for my opponent to be making. Another Darth Malik and a Kylo Silencer. Not exactly a fantastic couple of draws. Would have preferred more units, realistically. They've got a Watto, huh? Okay, we're just going to attack in and we'll let them draw some cards, probably. Watto, huh? Interesting. Very interesting. Let's play a Silencer. Let's pass. Got a tie Interceptor. Ugh. I mean, it's not great. Not great draws here. I like Malik a lot. It's worth keeping Malik just because of how powerful he is with Darth Revan. But, yeah. Perilous position, huh? But it's playing the controlling game here. Let's go Fallen Lightsaber on Guavi and antagonize. Let's just make it a big old unit here. +3/+3. Nothing too crazy going on, but we're going to do it. They can draw a card. I don't really care about them drawing cards, realistically. Another Death Star Stormtrooper. Not amazing, by the way, just because our opponent's got the Watto there. Ruthlessness could be pretty good, though. I do like Ruthlessness. Ruthlessness can really skyrocket the value of one of these units. They can give an experience token to their Watto if they want. Let's go ahead and deploy Revan here, and then we're going to deploy Malik. I think I'm going to attack the Watto. I gave the experience token because they drew a lot of cards, but I think I'm going to kill the Watto anyways. The extra damage I don't think matters, which is why I went with the experience token in this situation. Let's go Malik, ready up. Grogu, huh? Okay, let's go ahead and kill Watto. And then I think what we'll want to do is just attack base here. Attack base for 3. Ruthlessness on Malik is pretty amazing, by the way. Let's attack base for 5. Let's pass. Okay, we got a bunch of units, all of which we could play this turn, so we'll just keep it all. We can potentially go Target Town on Grogu, finish it off with Malik, but we'll see what my opponent decides to do here with 6 resources. Let's see it, opponent. Let's see. Opponent is conceding. Great. Interesting little game there. I do think the Han Blue has a lot of potential. This is not a direction I would necessarily go in. I would lean towards more being the aggressor. You know, turn 1 Ogdo Bogdo, as we saw earlier, but they didn't actually use the Han action, so they couldn't attack. But Ezra Bridger seems amazing in that deck as well. And then, of course, you still get to play like Luke Skywalker's, Anakin Skywalker's a turn earlier. You've still got access to Kanan's, Poe Dameron's, potentially Wreckers if you want. You still have a really nice couple of options in that deck, just from previous sets. And then you have, again, like I said, Ogdo Bogdo and Ezra both seem like amazing additions for Han Solo. Alrighty, next up, we've got a match up against Ye Ol Qui-Gon Jinn. Let's go to mulligan this one. Not a huge fan of this one, and I'm even less of a fan of this hand. Jeez, what is going on here? We've got Benthic 2 tubes, double Darth Revan's lightsabers, fallen lightsaber. At least we got Silencer of a strike ship, guys. I'm officially a strike ship hater. It is what it is. It's just, I've been burned. They claim initiative. Oh, they had nothing. Okay. I was sitting there and I'm trolling my opponent because I thought they were going to have something. We've got the 5th brother here on this next turn, which is going to be pretty nice for us. Let's go 5th brother. We're going to attack in for 3 and then we're going to pass here. We've got HK47, another 5th brother. So I think I'm going to go 5th brother or fallen lightsaber. If 5th brother dies, then we'll go 5th brother. If it doesn't, we're going to go fallen lightsaber plus Benthic 2 tube. So I think the HK is probably not going to be the way we want to go. My opponent could definitely be playing like Will of the Force, Waylays. They could be playing Ahsoka Tano. They could be playing so many different things. Ahsoka and Kira are most likely what they're playing here on the next turn. They could also go like sneak attack plus something else, which could be a little bit scary. There's a lot of options that Qui-Gon truly has, so I don't really know what they are doing. They've got Jedi Sentinel is the option here, which, well, isn't all that scary actually. So we're just gonna go full on lightsaber here and just kind of go to town. So we're gonna be able to knock out both units here realistically. Fall on lightsaber. Let's see if they bounce the Jedi Sentinel. There's a chance they could bounce it. Oh, interesting. I think that was a good play. I think that was definitely a solid play from our opponent. They can use the Force to bounce the Jedi Sentinel, but if they do that, then, you know, they probably can't trade with the fifth brother. Right now, they're just trading with fifth brother. I think the Ezra attack makes a lot of sense for my opponent, so good on them. Opponent deciding, I guess, on what to do. They're passing, huh? Let's attack in for 3. I mean, I'll attack. That's totally fine. Can't really avoid it. I don't know why they were passing necessarily, but hey, nothing wrong with that realistically. We can go fifth brother again, but I think I'd rather go Ruthlessness and Darth Revan's lightsaber on Darth Revan and Death Star Stormtrooper on that turn. I think that's going to be a lot stronger. Let's see what we've got for our opponent. Qui-Gon Jinn doesn't come down until next turn. And I mean, Jedi Sentinel is so much weaker than Kira or anything like that. Yeah, sure. Plo Koon me. Totally fine. Plo Koon not really going to be all that strong. Now they can bounce the Plo Koon to play an Ahsoka, and that's going to be pretty nice. There's the Ahsoka, like I said. Okay, let's go deploy Darth Revan. And we're going to go Darth Revan's lightsabers. We're going to go Ruthlessness. And we're going to attack Ahsoka. Deal 2 damage, give an experience token, and boom, that is an 11 powered unit right away. So good stuff there. We're going to keep both units in hand. If they have an Ahsoka Tano, it's going to be a little bit sad for us. But that is a massive Darth Revan unit here. Absolutely gigantic. Fallen lightsaber would be amazing. That would be pretty sweet to drop on the Darth Revan on top of everything. What do you got, opponent? Ruthlessness technically could have gone on the silencer, by the way, but I just didn't think that was all that strong. The upgrades don't seem all that great up against Qui-Gon in general. I did take a risky line there with the fifth brother, but they played the Jedi Sentinel, which is why I decided to go with that. Because of Waylay and things like that, it's a little bit scary. Even here, they could just exhaust Revan, you know, in a few different times, and then make our life a lot more tricky. Opponent might have gone AFK. Oh, and they conceded. Okay, so, I mean, we got there. Darth Revan being a massive unit. It's kind of what is really scary. There could be these turns where Darth Revan just comes down and suddenly he's like an 11-8 or like a 12-8. And it's just like, whoa, what just happened, guys? Pretty sweet stuff, and we got there, guys. We got there. All right, so what did we learn with Darth Revan? Well, it ended up being pretty solid. You have the early game kind of aggression with a bunch of early game units. You get Revan down, and he can sometimes be this insurmountable, massive menace. I wanted to touch on the Force potential with this deck, because a lot of people are playing Revan, and I've seen a lot of it with the new aggression Force base that really just kind of works with Force units. Or if you're going to go like Vigilance or things like that with the Force base. There are definitely options. I think if you're going to go Vigilance or you're going to go Command, there are more likely you're going to want to run the Force base. I think there's more advantages to that. And even ECL could be pretty good, so I don't even know if that's necessarily true. But if you're playing Darth Malak, ECL gets a lot less valuable. Same with Darth Tyrannus and things like that. But I think if you're playing the Vigilance or Command bases, the Force base makes a lot of sense. Aggression right now, I don't think makes a lot of sense. If you look at the Force units that we have, or units that work with the Force token, right? We have the Infused Brawler, which can't come down on turn 1 with the Force token usually. Death Field, okay, that works with not even the Force token, actually, just Force units in general. So you play that regardless. The other thing would be, that's it, actually. Besides like the villainy cards like Darth Tyrannus that work with Force, which honestly is the biggest payoff. So the Force doesn't really make a lot of sense right now for me, and maybe that'll change in the future. I think Tarkin Town definitely has a lot more value. And by the way, maybe by the time I post this video, there's going to be a bunch more aggression units that like, oh guys, why are we not playing the Force base? Which could make a total different game plan, right? I think Cunning, you could potentially go with Force base, but also Petronaki Arena is pretty strong on Darth Revan. For Vigilance, I think that's the one that makes the most sense with Force because of Karis and the Talzin's Assassin. So you could potentially go a couple different ways, but I think this is a stronger version of Revan than other options. The cards that I really didn't like, Strike Ship. You saw a couple of those games where Strike Ship just got destroyed and it did nothing. The difference between 1 power and 0 is immense in a deck with Tarkin Town because 1 allows you to actually recover by Tarkin Towning, and the other, just you get your Strike Ship killed for free. So I think I would be replacing that for really any other option. I think you could go a little bit more expensive in this deck. I wanted to keep it really low to the ground to make multiple plays, especially on like the Darth Revan flip turn. I think that's pretty important, but you could definitely replace Strike Ship and go for like some 6 drops or even some more 5 drops potentially to improve the mid game of the deck. But overall, I like the core. I think it's really fun. I think Darth Revan's lightsabers are pretty strong when you got Darth Revan. And Darth Malak getting immediately ready up when you deploy Revan is also very, very good. It is very, very good. So definitely give this a try, guys. Hopefully you enjoy, and I'll see you all for the next one.